Hello once again, this is KC Classic Cars, and today we are looking at a gorgeous 1967 Buick Lesabres 400. We're going to do an extensive overview and walk around and cold start video here, so it's going to be a little bit longer than some of our other ones, but I think this car deserves that. So if you enjoy the thoroughness and detail that are presented in our KC Classic Car videos, we'd love for you to subscribe and like at the bottom of the page there, so feel free to do that. But in the meantime, let's take a look at this car. So in 1967, Buick had entrance into the large coupe arena like the Chevy Impala and the Pontiac, I don't know if it was Catalina or whatever. They had, everybody had their version of the big swoopy fastback, and the Lesabre and Wildcat and Electra were the offerings from Buick. The Lesabre was the kind of the base level car, and then the 400 was sort of a stylistic upgrade, which came with a few niceties such as, extras like a light package, fancier, seatbelt buckles, better trim, chrome, maybe a few extra options that were standard. But this car was owned by the same owner for almost 55 years until very recently. And so it's been given just the utmost of care over the years. It is a super, super solid vehicle. It has really just a few minor paint flaws that I'll point out later. But overall, the paint is absolutely slick and gorgeous, and is done in its correct sapphire blue metallic, code D and D, meaning both the bottom and the top were painted sapphire blue, so there was no vinyl top. The Lesabre came standard with a 340 V8. I think that's the only motor you could get in the Lesabre in '67. But this car has had a definite upgrade in that they put in a '68 model year 430 big block Buick and had it mildly built with aluminum heads, a 455 Edelbrock aluminum intake, 4-barrel intake, 4-barrel carburetor. It has MSD ignition system, MSD wires, an MSD billet distributor, as well as a really nice 4-core aluminum radiator. A remote oil filter has been installed with cooling, kind of a cooling koozie around it, as well as a remote water filter in the back. And you'll notice that the previous owner had went ahead, since he didn't want to drive it with the heater operating or having hot water going through the underside of the dash inside, he disconnected the hose that goes into the water heater. But it's all there. We've got the little red hose that goes with it. You can see the fitting that's zip tied around one of the main hoses there, and it just goes right in there, and all will function again if you want to hook that back up. But being that we don't drive them with the heater on when we own them, and it's middle of summer right now, just not gonna mess with it. But anyway, the car just runs extremely well. It starts great. It idles so smooth. It does have a 4-speed overdrive hydromatic transmission, along with a Dakota digital electronic cable, whatever that I forget what it's called, ECD, yeah, which basically converts the electronic signal to the mechanical speedometer so that you can still use the modern transmission with the standard OEM speedometer. So that works all great. It's got a few gauges underneath there, as you can see. It constantly produces between 40 and 60 pounds of oil pressure. Usually it's over 50, so it's got really, really good oil pressure. At 65 miles an hour, the tach is only running at about 16 to 1800 RPM. So, with the overdrive, it becomes a really smooth highway cruiser. And for someone who wants to buy a vehicle like this and drive it, and really put some miles on it at 75 miles an hour, this is the kind of car you want, because it is just, first of all, fantastic looking, but it also is smooth and, just eats up the miles and the bumps. It is completely solid. This car has no rust issues whatsoever. aside from just a couple little minor bubbles from over the years, just sort of starting to develop a little bit. But the trunk, as you can see, is completely solid. There's a couple of little holes here, but these are drilled holes. These are not rust holes. So you can see that it's not like it's rusting through or anything. It's all solid. All looks to be original. GM spatter paint has been redone, it looks like. The spare is the correct size, white wall, with the other that matches the other four. And it just, the trunk lid is all original. He looks like he's put some expandable foam in there to kind of quiet the rattling and stuff like that these tend to have sometimes. But just look at some cool little just geeky details like, the clarity of the stampings on the metal all over the car. And you can see that in different places. And I don't think, like here's another one right here that's just absolutely crystal clear, which is interesting. So that tells me that the car's maybe been repainted one time in its entire life. Very, very well done. Very, very nice, smooth, just an incredible gloss on it. I've polished it to the quality you see now. It's got a few just tiny imperfections here and there, and like I said, as I go around it, I'll point them out to you. But this car has also received brand new US mags, Indy style 15x7s, along with brand new white wall tires that are January 24 date codes. The trick on these Buick Lesabres and other big GMs between 65 and 70 that you need to remember, for those of you out there looking to put some alternative wheels on your big cars because the hubcaps are a little bit too old manish. You need to know that they have a 5x5 bolt pattern and not the standard 5x4.75 that GM has for most of its other vehicles. So your larger vehicles have the larger bolt pattern. And in addition to that, while some sites will say that their 5x5s will fit, the brake drums on these cars are so large, at least on the Buicks, they're so large that in fact, the rear wheels required a 1-inch wheel adapter, which, after measuring everything, I determined that it would clear everything just fine. And I have been driving the car with these new wheels and the wheel adapters, and it drives absolutely perfect. There's no rubbing, there's no, weird metal on metal grinding or anything like that. So a simple 1-inch wheel adapter on the rear wheels will work just fine. These 15x7s do work over the front brake drums, and they do clear, so there's no wheel adapter needed for those. So that's that. I'm going to kind of explore the interior a little bit with you, and it looks like that the interior upholstery has been redone once, and I have some pictures, by the way, which I'll show you in a minute, of the car from years gone by. But as you can see, things like the rear package shelf, just tight, clean. Those dots that you see are reflections of in the window. They're not actually on the rear deck panel there. But you can see that it's got the fancy carriage seatbelt buckles, which is kind of cool. All the carpet, the door panels, the dash is especially nice, especially clean. All the chrome is really nice. The one thing about these Buicks is the steering wheel always cracked. That particular style steering wheel did not hold up well, and so this one demonstrates some of that. But it's been repainted to match the rest of the interior in the car and looks really nice. And so you can see the Dakota gauge is digital electronic cable drive to transfer to the speedometer there. And all the gauges work, all the lights work, the under dash light works, the dome light works. Put a new lens in there. You can see how tight the headliner is. The sun visors are all perfect. This is just a really, really super clean car. All the seat belts are there and work. All the seat belts are clean. They're not all nasty, cruddy, and stiff from them being ignored and just left to have stains on them and stuff. Brand new nylon loop floor mats with the Buick logo in there. They're brand new, look really nice to go with the nice carpet. Just a little bit of tiny wear on the door panels, just from an arm probably sitting there over the years. That's not really dirt, it's just kind of the wearing away of the color a little bit. But other than that, the interior is in mint condition. And the door just, closes like that. And that's really nice. All the windows go up, attach and seal real nicely. You can see all the stainless in the car is in fabulous condition. All along the top, all along along the windows, channels, and things of that nature. It's just beautiful. You can see along the bottom, even the little trim down there, it's all really nice, clean, dent-free, as is the rest of the car. I mean, all the trim, the little Buick fender vents, fake fender vents are nice. The chrome is extremely nice in this car, all the way around. All the headlights, parking lights, tail lights, everything works. The radio works, but I think sometimes it doesn't. The speakers don't want to produce much sound. But, I left the original AM radio in there because people like to do what they like to do with their stereo systems. So, again, though, really, really nice interior. And, all the corners here are all really nice. You don't see a bunch of goopy crap going on with the bodywork. All been painted nicely in there. You can see the VIN number is very clear. So it's just a really great car. It's got tilt wheel, power steering, power brakes, and like I said, it's got an electrical fuel pump, so you turn on the switch before you start the car. It's not quite, it's not a completely perfect car, as good as it looks. And when I'm saying that, I mean like, little things. Okay, like here's a little bubble. Where's it? Right here. Little bubble right here, and that's really the extent of any of the imperfections as far as rust goes. You look down the side of this thing, and it's just smooth as glass all the way down. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really nice and clean. And the underside of the car, the frame, the floors, all that is just rock solid. Original undercoating still visible under there. You'll see a little tiny flaw here on the hood. Pointing to it with my finger. That's it on the entire hood, except for this one little boo-boo up here that somebody, and I haven't even corrected it yet. It's just, it's been paint chipped, yeah. And I'll probably just clean that up and put a little matching paint in there. Or if someone wants to do it their own way, they can do that, but it's, an inch long. But the rest of the body and paint are just gorgeous. It is slick and straight. You can see wheels are absolutely brand new. They're less than a week old. Tires are brand new. So this car is really for someone who wants to have something they can show off, something that's reliable, something where everything works, and it looks good, and it drives good, and isn't going to cost you an arm and a leg. Okay, because this is probably the nicest car I have had in a long time that's under $25,000. And it's just, I put brand new dual exhaust on it from the exhaust manifolds all the way back, new mufflers, new chrome tips, and I don't know, I have 20-some pictures of the underside, and it just shows how solid it is and that there's no rust or anything like that. You can see those on the website or request them. I'm going to go ahead and start the car. It's been completely sitting here all day cold, but no one ever believes you, so go in here and rest my hand on the exhaust manifold. All right, nice and cold. Little switch under the dash for the fuel pump. You just flip that on. parking lights only come on when the brights are not on. So that's the only reason those are not on. See all the taillights work. Sides. This is a great car. Signals work, wipers work. Just a chrome is wonderful on this car, and you know, it's like I said, not perfect, but really, really, really nice for the money. So won't last long. I encourage you to give me a call at 913-461-4890. Let me do a quick view of the car. I'll walk around with the hood down, since we haven't really seen that. Runs 190 to 195 degrees all day long, no matter how hot it is outside. So you can take this thing for a summer drive and not worry about it. This door opens and closes just as good as the other one. So, thanks for watching KC Classic Cars, 913-461-4890. 67 Buick Lesabres 400 with a 430 big block Buick V8 and 4-speed overdrive automatic transmission. Thank you very much.